Hey y'all, Bearder Bros Golf Show back at it again. I am Rod.
And Marcus.
Welcome on in, y'all. It is another week of golf as we head into the PGA Championship, and I should have vetted it with Marcus about their title and talking about hair follicles. I don't want to hit any soft spots.
I'm fine. I'm not.
Okay.
I didn't feel like I was catching a stray, sir.
Okay.
I'm good.
We have Sepp Straka, who has won his second tournament of the year, an elevated event, this past week at the Truist, formerly the Wells Fargo. Of course, held at a different location this year because of the PGA Championship being played at Quail Hollow this week. Um, yeah, man. I saw some articles saying, "Oh, this now elevates Sepp Straka into the elite category." It's his fourth career win. I don't know about elite. I think to me, I don't think you can call yourself elite unless you've got a major on your resume. What do you think
Right.
about the most recent talk, and what do you think about Sepp Straka? I mean, big, strong, strapping guy. The cool thing that I don't even know if you got a chance to click on the link that I sent out from PGA Tour regarding kind of it's just interesting seeing how people react to Sepp Straka. He seems like a really likable guy that the other players tend to receive very well. A lot of guys waiting around for him after the round. Saw Rory dapping him up. So, what do you think about Sepp Straka overall?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sepp is an Australian guy, so
No, Austrian, not Australian,
what did I say? Did I not say?
Australian.
Did I not? I was thinking in my head that I said European.
He is a Euro guy.
So him being European, Ryder Cup stuff and teammates and potential teammates, stuff like that. You would think that they would have like some type of a bond. I'm not gonna lie, Roy, he kind of passed the cool test, but really I think he was just trying to wait around and see if Shane Lowry was gonna win. So that's neither here nor there
That's
now.
a
But
that is a good point. That is a good point.
now Keith Mitchell legit waited around for Sepp Straka. Maybe because they went to the same college. I think they both ended up going to Georgia or something like
They're the
that.
dogs. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's why he waited around. But yeah, no, he is a likable guy. I mean, he stays in his own lane. He doesn't do anything out the norm. Um, I think his putter's a little bit wanky. Like I would never use anything that style, but it works for him. That little moon rock mallet thing
Multiple
that he's got
track.
going on. Yeah. Hey, Seb winning with that. I don't know. I think I really want to get into the course itself, and how it presented on the TV, and the production, and
Yeah, let's
the
do it.
product
What'd
in
you think
general.
about it?
I thought it was great. I mean, it was a lot of different opinions on it, but I think that's the mark of a good course. I think you're gonna get so many eyes on it that a lot of people are gonna want to have something to say about it. But in the end, when you have a course like that, it allows you to play it in multiple different ways. What more
Mm-hmm.
could you want than that? It worked out for bombers. It worked out for people that weren't as long. You could lay up, play the hole, strategically. If you're an iron guy, then you could play like that.
Right.
If you know that you can bomb the ball, then you're going to hit it as close to the green and play with wedges in your hand the whole day. That's fine as well. I think it was great. I think the
But you
rough
still
being up was great.
you still have to make putts. Those greens were very large and generous,
Tricky
but
greens, spine
yeah.
greens, fast greens, undulating, because that's still gonna be somebody's, protection against somebody that's gonna bomb it. You still gotta hit it into the right sectors. You still gotta hit it to the right levels. You gotta be able to spin it and spin control, so you're not spinning it off the green or spinning it, too far, below the hole. So yeah, I thought it was a great product, and you saw it. You saw Shane Lowry and Sepp Straka in the final group, not prodigiously long, not what you would call, people that we would say like, yo, like when I look at them, I look at drivers of the golf ball. But then you got a guy
Mm.
like JT who we think of driving the ball far and long. And he's 5'9". So you see, like I said, the stark differences in the gameplay and how people, set up on the course and how it all still ended up being, different people and different personalities up at the top. So all in all,
Yeah.
I think it was a great course. And
And
I
I
think
think
they should
people
do more like
go
that.
ahead. Sorry. And I think, going into it, I think people thought, especially after the first day, um, where we saw double digits and that the course was going to end up getting dominated. So got some weather the second day where they had to, get the round in early. And
Yeah,
then, it was tough scoring, but it's not like with better weather on the weekend that people took off. So the course defended itself very well. I think there were some
right.
worries about a 100-year-old design holding up against the modern game, and like you said, you were going into the rough aspect of it. That has always been a defense that can help. With the courses you mentioned, the greens also being very tricky, hitting to the right sections. I think one thing that you catch it every once in a while, the elevation changes also make a difference. There were some
Yeah,
some very significant drop offs or shooting up to a green. So I think,
the
you saw,
bunkering.
yeah. And what's interesting with kind of the different, I saw a lot of people coming up short, especially in the early couple of days, and with rangefinders. And I know they're supposed to turn the slope off, but you think that gets you part of the way down, the calculations and being able to make the game a little bit easier. And it's not
Yeah,
like they show a lot of the use of the rangefinders on the coverage. I think they pan away quite a bit when it comes to that. But I don't know. The game is still tricky. So I think having options in terms of these courses, I know a lot of times they stay away from these types of courses, but it's refreshing to see something different
yeah,
and get a look at a course that we've never seen before. So I think it did very well and kept the scoring, under 20 under. So I think that's a win for everybody. It's like it wasn't a
yeah.
scoring fest.
Very reasonable.
Yeah. So what do you think about the elite status though for Sepp Straka? Where do you think he now sits
Oh
after the
no,
second win this year?
no, 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 Rod. He is not
Got to be
elite.
a major.
I wouldn't even say a major, but he's got to win more frequently than that. I mean,
Yeah.
he's on a. It's a hot streak. That's fine. He won the American Express. He won a shootout. That's like a not a lesser field because we saw who was all in it. I mean, Scotty Scheffler was supposed to be in it, so it's not like it's a lesser
Yeah.
event or anything like that. But I mean, this is his first elevated event win. I mean, this is his first time in the top 10 of the official world golf rankings ever. I mean, this is just the the stamp on putting him on the map, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This isn't elevating you to, elite status or anything of that nature yet. I need at least one more win out of you this season, or you need to be winning, multiple years in a row. Kind of like when DJ came on the scene. DJ, when he was on the tour, he won 9, 10, 11 years in a row. Even if it was just one event, he was still relevant in many tournaments,
Yeah.
majors, relevant, winning bigger events, even without the elevated events. So yeah, he's got. I mean, I'm not saying he's far away, but he's definitely not a lead by any stance.
I'm gonna share my screen for just a sec. What are we thinking about the hair? What are we thinking? The man's chosen to go bald. I have the quote saying that he's like, I was kind of losing my hair, so I figured I would get in front of it and just go ahead and shave it off. He was receding a little bit. I don't know, like I mean, with the hat on, I think it looks good because I mean he's just clean around the edges. But when
Yeah,
it's fully off, I don't know if I like the bald for him. He's not keeping it clean enough, and he's still got dark follicles. So, um, it just looked kind of unkempt. What do you think about the bald look for Seth?
Yeah, I think once he fully locks in on his bald era and stays more clean cut with the fresh face, I think it'll be a lot better for him. But yes, I too agree. Think that well, I mean, he's Austrian. He ain't too far from Turkey, bro. He could have spit the bread. He could have got the little surgery.
He could
You
have went
know,
over and got the transplant. Especially, I mean, now that he got 3.6 mil for this win,
right?
I think he
It's
can
ten
afford.
k.
Yeah, he can afford top of the line hair follicle replacement at this point. The little
Right.
transplant, move it from the back of the neck to the front area. He's not even that far receded at this point.
It's not. He's just got the widow's peak joint going. Listen, he got some status on tour. He had it before the
Right.
win, anyways, but now he's got really good status, bruh. After the playoffs, make the flight, hang out in Austria for a little bit, visit the fam. We'll see you in a few months. Start of 2026 for the century on that elevated event. We don't need to see you
Right.
no more, bro. You got plenty of time to recoup and say, hey, I had some time to really let it grow in. We don't even need to know if you actually got the surgery or the operation or not, even though we'll
Yeah.
know, but like, we don't need to see the little dots. We won't need to see the bandaging or the blood or
Well, yeah.
whatever.
I don't know how. I mean, he'd actually have pretty decent protection with the hat on his head with the surgery. So I don't know. I mean,
You're
anyway,
supposed to let it air out. You're supposed to
let it
have it.
scab up, and
Yeah, you're supposed to let
you've
it
been doing
flow.
you've been doing the research on the surgery.
Hey, man, we've talked about this. It comes up on my algorithm from time to time. Jerk. You don't even need to do the surgery. You don't even need to do the research. It's all in front of me as it is.
All right. All right. Anything else from your perspective on the Truist Championship before we exit on to something else?
Uh, Listen, I don't even want to give this man any credence or any shine because there's enough reporter that's going to talk about him. But you saw how far you saw how your boy Jordan Speed fell right back in irregularity, him
Mm-hmm.
trending up and stuff like that. Your boy finished 2 and 3 hours before the leaders finished, well before they got onto the back nine. So again, he got a long ways to go before we're in prime speed territory or even in competitor speed territory. So his little T4 didn't do anything for me, especially since he was 12 shots back of the win. So again, cheering for Speed, Dallas height, but let's make sure we're keeping it real. He's got a ways to go before
Yeah.
he's in that territory.
I think people were getting super hype and just trying to create storylines around the PGA Championship and the lead up to that. But like you said, the game is always going to have to show up every week in and week out. Um, there is somebody that I do want to talk about that I was looking back at our picks for kind of the season long, our major picks, and also I think we even went FedEx picks at the beginning of the year as well.
Yeah.
So a guy that's really struggling here lately, and I don't know if it's injury related, and it looks like he WD'd, but Sahith Theegala,
Mm,
having a rough go at it this season, man. I don't know what's. I mean, he was. I got to see him up close and in person in the Bahamas this year when we were there for the Hero World Challenge. I guess that's late last year in December. So kind of the wraparound part of the season. Wasn't really making a lot of putts, but was still in
yeah.
decent ball striking mode. But the coming into this season, he has not played very well. Um, I don't know, man. That's been probably one of the more disappointing seasons we've seen so far. Of somebody that we expected some decent things out of. What do you think about him so far this year?
No, agreed. It's actually funny because on the talk, Juju was saying, everybody's blaming her for his poor play, and she's like, "That's fine. I'll take that on the chin." But I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with him. I mean, he slid 20 ranking points, 20 ranking spots. He was a solidified number 12, 10 to 15 range. He's like all the way up to 34 or 31 or something like that in that realm. So I don't know, man. Maybe he's putting a lot of pressure on himself because he sees and knows he could be, that next big star as
Yeah.
well. But yeah, I don't know. President's Cup, he looked real well. That was another, thing that was like, oh man, he really is trending. He's a team player. He bonds well with the guys. So
Yeah.
it was I don't know. The Ducks were lining up to be in a row for my man's, and it's just it kind of fell off the track. So I don't know. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, I definitely
I
wouldn't
guess I
blame
want to
her. I
look.
mean, she's been
Yeah,
around for a couple of years at this point. It's not like this is some new relationship. The
yeah, she's a solidified wag for sure.
Yeah, the family connection has always been there. So he travels. Mom and dad are always at the tournaments. Juju is always at the tournaments as well. We've seen that for a couple of years. So their whole arrangement, has pretty much maintained the same. I know when they play out on the West Coast, his fan section is a little bit bigger, but
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. And we know how golf is, right? You can be playing well one day and then completely lose it the next day, and then not know where the hell your game went, or why. So we
Yeah.
totally understand that, and it's just with the guy that showed so much promise and consistency. We know he
Yeah.
plays quite a bit, and that could also be a bit of it as well. That the grind, that maybe there are some injuries starting to catch up with him a little bit just because of how often he's been playing.
Yeah.
So
Taking a toll on him.
it very well could be. So interesting.
Yeah. Also, I mean, also, I wish. I don't know. I feel like they're also not showing him as much either. So it's not even like we can like. Not saying we're swing coaches by any stretch of the imagination, but we don't even have eyes on it to kind of diagnose it in our own little realm of expertise. So it's kind of sad, and I wish that we could see him more so we could get more of a feel. I don't know. I guess after he
Yeah.
threw that club on camera one day, they weren't really like maybe we should hold back on showing side hip a little bit.
And it looks like
Maybe
this
that's it.
this past week's withdrawal was due to a neck injury. So
Yep. So you're
again,
right.
could be
Taking a toll.
some fatigue. Yeah, it's hard to play week in and week out. That much travel, that's just
Right.
difficult. So,
Right.
um, on the other side, we got in the opposite field event, the one flight Myrtle Beach Open came down to a playoff. They were dealing with some weather over the weekend. Very nice course. I think we saw me and you saw each other this weekend. Clarified that we had played Grand Dunes and not the Dunes Club where they played. So
Sorry, friends. We're
another,
not as cool as we thought.
but another older course that they played, where the guys played this weekend in Myrtle Beach, was a 75-year-old club, which kind of shows how long the lineage in Myrtle Beach has been. But again, it looked great on TV. Looked really good, solid course, challenging. Again, just had to go score, and,
Yep.
and and get a score to win it. Ryan Fox gets his first victory on the PGA Tour, chipping in a three-man playoff with gosh, I wrote it down. Harry Higgs and
Mackenzie
Mackenzie
Hughes.
Hughes. Yep.
Yeah.
Harry Higgs looked super pissed off. um, um, yeah, it was an interesting. I just caught the tail end of it and then the highlights, just because they were running opposite, and we were traveling for the Mother's Day holiday. So interesting, for him to get a win. He's been grinding out. We've long talked about Ryan Fox also playing just as frequently as like Sahith Theegala. I mean, he's out there heavy week in and week out, playing
Right.
somewhere in the world. He'll bounce across to the DP World Tour sometimes. Ryan Fox is going to be teeing it up, but he also secured himself a spot in the PGA Championship. So all good for Ryan Fox.
Yeah.
Which I think we saw it coming for a while. I mean, the game, he's got the game. It was just gonna have to be a week where he was going to get hot and all things come together. And this was finally that week. It was in an opposite field event, but a win nonetheless. Especially if you're able to get into a major as a result of that. What do you think about our guy Ryan Fox getting his first?
Yeah. I mean, on cue, literally at the end on the playoff, showed the wife, showed the two kids, his favorite travel buddies, on camera, very close by. Um, but I mean, as far as Ryan Fox winning, I think it was kind of almost really like a tale of how the back nines went. I mean, you saw it. Well, I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but if you're watching any of the coverage or the replay, Mackenzie Hughes, Harry Higgs pretty much limped into the finish. At one point, they were both at 16 or 17, kind of almost similar to what happened at the Truist, where really they were
Mhm.
fighting bogeys and fighting stuff like that, as far as it goes as coming in and just making some well earned pars. So yeah, Ryan Fox shot a 66 on Sunday, and Harry Higgs and Mackenzie Hughes shot 68 or 69 or something like that. Very much so not scoring with Ryan Fox. So for him to chip in from the front of the green, I felt like it was honestly kind of meant to be. Um, Harry Higgs did give him kind of like he shot him a look, kind of like I know you didn't just do that shit, but he also did high five him on the way by, kind of to congratulate him on a very nice, well done shot. But
Yeah.
yeah, Harry Higgs lives to play another event. Still a very likable guy. A lot of people still fight for Harry Higgs. Mackenzie Hughes still, I mean, he's still top 100 in the world. So he's still going to get some exemptions. He's still going to get some play on the tour. So their pockets
Am I
aren't
not
hurt.
crazy? Have we talked about Mackenzie Hughes being kind of the most successful guy that came from the show that was on Golf Channel? God, my brain
The
is
big
late in the
break.
day. From the Big Break, that he's probably been the most successful um, crossover from that. He was on that show like one of the seasons, right? Am I not
Um,
crazy?
you might have to look that up. I don't remember that. We might have brought it up. We've brought up the big break before, but I don't know if we brought up Mackenzie Hughes.
Maybe I'm thinking about another guy. I'm probably mistaking him with somebody else. Um, but I swear he was in Big Break, but I'm probably
But
wrong.
he's a journeyman. He's been around for a while.
Disregard.
Um,
Disregard.
but
No, because he
nah,
Penn State. Go
I still
ahead.
think he'll be okay. I still think he'll be okay. That's all I was gonna say.
No,
Um,
and I think Harry Higgs has been struggling for his card, up and down between Corn Ferry, losing his card a couple of years ago. So I'm I'm
yeah,
I'm happy for him to find some consistency and you know I know he got also popular at the Waste Management Phoenix Open, taking off the shirt. Everybody loves the party time fun guy, but when golf's your career, you guys take it serious, and that's how you putting food on the table and paying your bills. A time comes when you have to get serious. So, kind of
yeah,
after the early accolades and probably endorsements that came with that popularity, Harry had to buckle down and actually play the game, and it looks like he's been able to do that. So,
yeah.
kudos to that man for figuring that out. Let's see here. Next on our list, quick mention just so we can run through it. DP World Tour rookie with 15 starts under his belt. I'm gonna screw up his last name. Martin Courva. Curve? Do you know how to say? I didn't hear it on the. I didn't listen. I didn't watch any DP World Tour at all. It was just not a
Oh,
good week.
I was gonna guess Corva, Corva, Corvée, maybe
Courva.
possibly.
We'll, we'll, we'll roll with that. His
Yeah,
first win as a professional, young guy, rookie out on the DP World Tour. Um, Salute to him. Probably the
Turkish
next
Airlines. It looked good though.
Turkish Airlines Open. It did. He'll probably be if he can continue the momentum, he'll be the next PGA Tour transplant coming over from the DP World Tour. Because pretty much at this
Yeah,
point, DP World Tour is a feeder tour for the PGA.
big boy Corn Ferry.
Pretty much, pretty much.
All
Look,
right.
few better purses. Get to see the world playing on the DP World Tour, but ultimately you have to know that you're probably going to end up playing on the big boy tour. But shout out to him. Let's talk about a couple of the players that are actually qualified from the DP World Tour. Some of
Yeah,
them are crossover that are going to be playing the PGA Championship this year. Kita Nakajima, he's been a very strong player on the DP World Tour for the last couple of years. I've gotten to see him play quite a bit. Rocks the mock neck every once in a while. So Kita Nakajima, talented guy out of
yeah,
Japan. Um, our guy who we've talked about a couple of times already this year and looks incredibly focused. And I honestly, I'm super proud of him. So after defecting from the Live Golf Tour, Eugenio Chikara, former OSU standout, never played on the PGA Tour, getting a start in his first major as a professional.
yeah.
Um, Went over to the DP World Tour this year and got a win early on in the season. Has been getting some top five finishes. Getting a chance at a major start. What do you think about that one, man?
Yeah, well deserved. I think he's doing it. I mean, hopefully he can keep going.
Yeah, focused. Marco Pinch, also decent finishes. Nicholas
Crazy.
Norgard, go ahead.
Marco Payne is like crazy long off the tee. I mean, like one easy 190, casual 190 ball speed off the tee. Mizuno Stafford, by the way, plays the Mizuno STX. He plays through the bag, I'm pretty sure. I don't know about putter, but plays the Mizuno driver, Mizuno Woods, Mizuno irons, probably playing the Pro S3s or whatever, the newest line. But yeah,
Right.
he's definitely one of those young guys, kind of like the Pulp Gear or whatever on the PGA Tour. Probably one of those
Yeah.
along those lines.
Um, Nicholas Norgard kind of getting some run. He's in his late, young, low 30s, 32. Been
Yeah,
seeing his name pop up on leaderboards quite a bit lately, and getting some run internationally. So he's getting a start on the PGA Championship. Again, some of these names are more PGA Tour, but Harry Hall, they have him listed. I know he bounces back and forth a little bit.
hmm
Um, Rasmus Neergaard Peterson is another one that we've been seeing quite a bit here lately.
yeah.
25-year-old. You mentioned this one last week, and this man in these teeth. Tom McKibben will get his start. In the PGA Championship. I just want to see what he does on the major stage, right? I
Yeah,
compared him to David Puig. Similar builds, similar game. Can you perform? I mean, they made it feel like the PGA Tour had missed out on him because he had earned his card and then decided to go play for Live Golf. So we're going to see
his
him on the
bad.
major stage.
His
Hmm?
bad. He wasn't patient. He wasn't patient. He was
Right.
doing the work and played in that match play and really showed himself. So the Live saw him and was like, "Let's poach. We can get his cheap ass for 5 million. Let's do it." His
Right.
fault.
Right. And we're seeing guys like we mentioned Step Straka, right?
Three
So
point
he's the
six
guy
1 week.
3.6 in 1 week and then with the American Express money, he's already up to like five something million this year, and just those two
Yeah,
wins. That doesn't even include his other starts and from making a cut. So yeah,
I'm not
Tom
moved.
McKibben. Tom McKibben could have easily earned that money pretty quickly. John
Yeah,
Perry, old great Gray Fox, John Perry,
yeah. I think he
and
won this week. I think he won on DP World Tour this year.
to be able to get in.
Yeah, earlier,
Yep, yep. Two total in his
earlier this
career,
year.
but I think yeah, early in the season. And then Elvis Smiley is the other ones. The interesting thing about the notes that from this post is that there's a lot of minimal starts from some of these guys that are coming over, so they haven't had big success in the majors. It's a big event, right? I mean,
Yeah,
the nerves definitely have to come into play. The DP World Tour crowds are just, while healthy and can be healthy, it's nothing like playing on the major stage when everybody's watching you. LPGA shutting it down. All eyes are focused on what y'all are doing this week. I
yeah.
will say the
Let me
one
just.
one. Go ahead.
I just don't know. Okay, I get it. Like you're trying to lay claim to this guy, but Harry Hall, he's been on the PGA Tour like the last 2 years.
I know. I know. DP World Tour is trying to get some credit for something that they didn't do.
And also, it's very still. It's listen, still very concerning to me that Buddy is 27, looking 38. I mean, bro
You
looks seasoned.
talking about Harry Hall?
Yes, and it's not just the hat; it's in the face. He looks seasoned.
Um, bro, like Harry Hall ages like people in the 80s and early
Ain't he bald
90s.
too already?
I think so. I always only seen him in that page
Oh,
boy hat. But
yeah.
looking at pictures of, I'm not even gonna lie. I would say like
Harry
because
Hall,
before
no
like
hat.
before our dad went bald, he had the old man hairline going on too. There
Been
was just a
looking old.
different way. It was just a different way that folks back in that time frame aged. And Harry Hall is definitely like a throwback looking human being.
Harry Hall,
So
bald at 27.
um
Can confirm.
kind of going over our PGA Championship picks that we made at the beginning of the year. At Quail Hollow, we were going back and forth. In the You had ended up picking Xander Schauffele, and I picked Rory McIlroy due to his history at Quail Hollow.
You picked
Again, this is
first.
it's probably why. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said we were going back and forth. I think you got first pick for the Masters, and then so when we rotated back around, I ended up getting the first on the PGA. So I'm still comfortable with that pick. I even feel like this week, um, Rory
Well,
played
now
it
it's
laid
even
back.
more. It's even
Yeah,
more. It's better because it's going to be rainy Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's absolutely going to be a bomber's course. Your
yeah.
carry yardage is going to be even more important. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's gonna be premium. Um, that means for Rory, he's gonna have the advantage going into some of those greens. But then again, we know how well Rory has always hit long iron, so that's not even really
right.
a
Not
question
even a
of
question. Hmm.
he's superior when it comes to long iron. So, um, I literally cannot. I do not tune into Golf Channel the week of majors because every time you look at it, it's live from the PGA Championship, live from the Masters. I mean, I get it. It's a major, it's important, but we're already doing that on Monday where there is no other coverage of anything else. There's only so
Right.
much yapping that you can stand for 3 days, 4 days leading into actual gameplay. So I don't know. I don't know how you feel about that, but I don't even venture towards Golf Channel this week until we get to Thursday and start talking
Listen,
actual on course results.
in a perfect world, Monday, Monday would be final round replays from around the tours, all tours, LPGA, both events, DP World Tour. Boom. That's 12 hours at least out of the day. And that's if you just do the 3 hours. If you do like the
Right.
full coverage or whatever, we talking 14, 15. Boom. Then you get into Golf Central or whatever. Let Gary Williams do his little morning talk show with the 5 clubs or whatever. I don't know. That's Monday. Tuesday, if it's a major, you do major highlights. You do the little hour-long highlights of the replays of like some famous years or some people that are trending the right way. And then they need
Right.
to get back. They need to show majors greatest. They need to show the greatest rounds again. That
Yeah, that would
little
be
two and
nice.
a half hour. Please, 7 to 9:30. You do a little
Because
quick snippet, then you run it
I
again.
just I just ran through kind of the schedule, and literally there's no, even in the middle of the night, there's no replays from this past weekend's golf. I mean, that would
Yeah,
it
they
be
already did it.
totally,
They did it Monday
I,
morning.
I know, but dang. And I think I fell, we were traveling yesterday. So I crashed on the couch last night. Just, I think I fell asleep like super early with the TV
Yeah.
on. So yeah, I got to watch some of it. But yeah, I mean, a little bit of a break. There's really only so much yapping that you can do about the PGA Championship. I mean, we all make
Give us the
picks and we think
range. Give us the range and be quiet. Hush up. Give us
something.
on the
Uh,
range at the PGA. Show us the shot tracker. Show them. Listen, this would be a great. This would be a great opportunity if you really wanted to show people's personalities and stuff like that. Why not show these little hot nines that they be playing with the homies, the money games and stuff they be playing on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to get into the games? Show them.
yeah, yeah. Don't
Pre-record
mic
it.
them up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
out of
don't mic them
respect.
up.
Yeah. Or you could mic them up, pre-record it. That way you can cut and snip it if they really get to talking spicy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So just running on a little bit
yeah,
of a delay and go from there. But you want to show the PGA Tour is developing, you want to show personalities, do that. I mean, just think about the LPGA. LPGA, they show their galas. They show them on the range. They show all these little snippets, these little interviews, these sit downs with the caddies and stuff, the mic'd up caddies during the practice round. We want that too, like with the PGA. Like, they're not
right.
just good golfers, like, they could be funny people too. Like,
Yeah,
there are definitely characters out on the tour. So don't,
yeah. There, we
you
know that
know,
there's better ways to get behind the scenes on the PGA Tour. We just have not, unfortunately, been privy to that, and that's unfortunate. And they
yeah,
really have to do better. They'd have to do better. I didn't
right,
put this on our list to talk about, but since we talked about the DP World Tour guys, I'm just gonna run through the list of live guys that are in the PGA Championship this week. Again, as we
yeah,
discussed last week, I will come back to it. Um, we're getting to this point where, again, their contracts are coming to an end, and it'd be nice to know how they're playing and how their league is keeping them prepared for major season. So let's run through this real quick. I'm not gonna I'm presenting with no comment. If you want to say something at the end, you give it a rip. So we got
yeah.
Bryson DeChambeau, of course, Brooks Koepka, Joaquin Neiman with a special invite, John Rahm, Phil Mickelson, Cam Smith, screens jacking
DJ,
up. Sergio Garcia, Tyrrell Hatton, DJ, Tom McKibben, as we mentioned earlier. Tyrrell Hatton. Did I say DJ already? Yeah, sorry, I'm buffering. Patrick Reed and Martin Keimer because of his previous win at the 2010 PGA Championship at Whistling Straits. So, I mean, these are the kind of. Oh, sorry. Richard Bland, Dean Burmester, John Catlin,
wow,
and David Puig.
wow. 20,
Yeah.
21.
No. 16.
Oh, 16. I skipped some numbers. My fault. Hey,
Yeah.
shout out to them. I don't know how John Callan got an exemption. I don't. Richard Bland won a
There were
major last
literally
year.
they yeah, they just had him as an extra. I don't even know how he got in either. That one's interesting. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know either, but that's cool. Let's see.
Well,
Um,
I mean, he's listed as a live golf reserve. I don't even think he's on a team.
right, exactly. I don't know how he made it, but like I said, Richard Bland won a senior major last year. Kudos to him. Joaquin Neiman, probably their best trending player at the moment.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can show up again. Maybe Cam Smith show us some glimpses of glory from the last 2022 or whatever when he was really on the
Yeah.
streak. I mean, I don't know. John Rahm, they showed him on the range. He looked the same. He looked a little bit more chunky than he did from the Masters.
That's what I told you,
Um,
man. I'm telling you. And all it takes is a
no,
few
the
good weeks of
Masters,
eating.
the Masters, he looked decent though. He looked like he was
Yeah,
like
but then I
making an
watched
effort.
them. Yeah, but then I watched them you know, go back to playing their league in the weeks following the Masters, and I'm like, damn, that was quick. You could just tell that the waistline had already expanded. And that's the thing with John Rahm. I mean, he's always like a couple of good meals away from looking larger again. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, you're right. At the Masters, it looked like he had come in fighting shape, and quickly thereafter, kind of back to where he was last year. I don't think he ever really found himself in great shape for John Rahm standards last year. It just didn't look like he had done that last year. So um,
yeah,
yeah, like I want to see him perform. At the end of the day, I mean, if if we're gonna kind of judge the leagues based on how they play, because this is the only time 4 times a year that we're going to see them playing together, and probably the Ryder Cup we're going to see some mixture this year. um you just want to see them bring their best. Now, I don't want to talk negatively about the league, but our thoughts are not hidden. We don't feel like it's legit golf. We don't feel like the courses that they play on prepare them very well for these type of
yeah,
events. To me, hell, Philadelphia Cricket Club was a very good test to get ready for PGA Championship. High level golf,
yeah,
very precise. Gonna be a slog. The weather again, and the guys that played on the PGA Tour the last handful of years, have had their runs on Quail Hollow more than the live guys are definitely probably getting practice rounds in and flying over to do that. But again, if it's in your
yeah,
part of your regular season, you're gonna have more reps. We saw Rory win it last year. So
yeah,
anyway, let's keep it moving. Let's talk about the LPGA. Not last but not least, Gino Thittekul wins her fifth LPGA title. Kind of going away at the Mizuho America's Open. Really, I don't even think it was really questionable. I mean, pretty much held the lead the entire week. Um, looks good. We talked about it. Her, she's the Ryan Fox of the LPGA. She is going to tee it up pretty much every week. Stay in the
yeah,
rhythm. She's actually a very fun. If you don't follow her on Instagram, she's a fun follow. A bit of a foodie, so it's very interesting to see where she's. You know, especially when they're traveling around, and she's always posting food pics and the restaurants that she's eating at. So she's a fun follow on Instagram. But yeah, shout out to her getting a win, especially as they take a break this week, and then they'll be back at it at doing the Mexico Open at Vedanta. It's not Vedanta. No, sorry, at Mayakoba. So they're playing an old PGA Tour and also
it's a Tiger
old
Woods course.
live site with that big cavernous bunker in the middle of one of the fairways. So we're going to get to see them again playing on a course that we've seen the men play on, which is always fun just to see how they compare and how they play these courses compared to the gentlemen. So shout out to the LPGA and the ladies upgrading their locations to ones that we know. I think they're really doing some really valuable things to grow their game.
Yeah, I think that was a good. I think that was a good week up in New York or Jersey or whatever they want to call it. Um, hey, listen, Saganda got sped up and she actually playing good golf. Maybe she should be playing faster every week.
Right.
Um,
Every week. Every week.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people just on that last day kind of just stood still. I mean, if you look at the leaderboard, Moutier was second. She shot even par. Andrea Lee shot even par. Saganda was only 2 under. Stephanie Curacao was the
Yeah.
only one that really made a move. She shot five. But Yulimi, no, she was even. Nelly Korda was 1 over. And then shoot, rounding out the top 10 or whatever, Kristen Gilman, Ria Takeda, Hira Navid. I mean, none of them really was going crazy. It was
No.
I don't know. So she did what she was supposed to do. She
Right.
won it. She won it going away, and she shot under par. She shot. Shoot, she even shot a 673 on Friday or whatever, and still won by four. So can be
Yeah.
done.
It
Yeah, but
absolutely
I
can.
I do enjoy her and Ronnie Yen. They're like the BFFs we never knew we needed, but they have like great content all the time. But yeah, I definitely enjoy their presence on social media. It is very fun.
Yeah. No doubt. So looking forward to the next time that they tee it up in Mexico in a couple of weeks. And let's
Yeah.
see. That's it for the golf content
US
from a
Open.
professional standpoint. Yeah, let's bring up the U.S. Open qualifier. I actually made a video of the green condition. So here in Texas, everywhere are U.S. Open qualifiers, and one here local to me is at the Heath Golf and Yacht Club in Rockwall, Texas. Very hoity-toity exclusive area of Dallas, Fort Worth.
Uppity.
But some pictures came out from somebody that was definitely documenting and showing the conditions. So let me pull this up.
These look like some Snapchat pictures, y'all. So you know they was sneaking this shit.
A little sad music with these. You can see the punch greens, this fungus. And that's how you know it's bad when it's out on the in the rough. The fungus is taking over.
They're gonna be doing. They're gonna be doing a bunch of painting. There's gonna be a
Oh
bunch of
yeah.
spray on the course. And they're probably gonna put some more sand down to try to at least even it out, and put a bunch of water to make it at least flat and roll it. But yeah, man. When you a top
To me,
dollar
that
course and you got a qualifier, bro, like I think you need to be doing everything possible.
I'm
You
trying to pull this one up. See this? I don't know if you can catch. At least on my side, it's showing the bar, but I think on our actual presentation, you can see kind of the perimeter of this area. Imagine landing in that. I mean, this can affect the results. Like I agree,
right.
they're gonna put all the smoke and mirrors on this course, but as I messaged to you, there's too many courses in DFW that could host a qualifier and that greens are in good conditions right now.
Yeah. Or the
It was a
PGA.
rough.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It was a rough winter. It was a rough winter. No, you finish.
It was a rough winter. I mean, we got hot. I mean, we'd have like one. We had a couple cold snaps, but then we turn around and have like 80-degree weather in the middle of the winter. it
Yeah.
was super bizarre. So I get it. It was hard to maintain, but I would say it's probably about 50-50 of courses that I've played this year. Either and there's no in between. You either have greens that are full of POA or some kind of fungus like these, or you have completely pure greens. And I don't know what the ones that, took care of their greens, and it doesn't and there's no rhyme or reason between like an area of town or not. It's either you got bad greens or you don't right now.
Yeah.
Like played this course Lake Arlington, pure greens. I mean, not a blemish on them, not a fungus. I mean, just super legit. And
Yeah.
again, I've seen quite a few like this. Where we play Buffalo Creek is also in Rockwall. They're kind of in betweeny. I mean, I would say they may be the closest thing, but they don't have a massive fungus issue. They were kind of just late coming in. But it's looked like they threw everything at this that they could. They punched,
Yeah.
they sanded, but I mean, again, once you have fungus like that, um, you probably end
Yeah.
up having to just tear these bad boys out.
I don't know if they'll tear them out, but they'll definitely, a course like that definitely has like a nursery or something that they could pull from, or some practice greens that they'll just have to shut down and probably
Yeah,
reside over those. But USGA's probably been out there the last few days, and they're just really going to mark up where ground under repair is going to be. You're just going to be taking a bunch of drops to get to some good grass, or some slightly better conditions to where you can chip up to the greens. Flag placements is not going to be anywhere near these growths and stuff like that, so there's going to be
yeah,
ways to circumvent it. But yeah, man, I guess once you sign up for an event and you give the USGA or PGA of America gives your course that money to put in to hosting these qualifiers and stuff, I guess that'd be the only reason why they wouldn't be able to, last minute change it and stuff like that. But
that's true.
um, yeah, it's just real
Yeah, I
unfortunate.
assume I'm assuming they're gonna have to source somewhere else for the future. And I know this particular course has
Oh, they
consistently
changed
held.
venues for qualifiers. Really?
You said they do.
I feel like they changed venues as far as U.S. qualifiers, U.S. Open qualifiers.
Um, this course has been in the rotation for quite a few like high end events like that. So
Mm-hmm.
um, again, there's enough courses in DFW that are tough and that could handle something like this.
Yeah, you know where
Yeah,
they need to go,
I mean they're
Rod?
just where's that?
They need to go to Fossil Creek.
Fossil Creek is tough. It
That's what I'm
actually
saying. That's
is.
just tough. That shit
It's
hard.
I think they've actually held some stuff out there at Fossil Creek, but that thing is tough. And if the wind is blowing, the only reason
That
I
shit
would say that they
hard.
wouldn't is because it's a little bit quirky. Some of the holes
Yeah,
are, you, like borderline kind of tricked up, but
yeah.
it's a tough course. I don't think I've ever played like a complete round. I've had like some good stretches of holes, but putting together a full round at Fossil Creek is definitely tough. I don't know.
Listen,
Um,
we chat. I will say we have played Fossil Creek, so we are talking about a course we do know. It's in Fort Worth, Tarrant County. The first year we were out there, it was a war of attrition. I think literally all four of us were in the mid 90s for that day. So definitely was playing tough. Wasn't even that cold. The sun was out. It's just a placement golf course, and the greens are always rolling well. So you really have to
yeah,
golf your ball.
yeah. That's it on the golf side, man. I'm looking forward to PGA Championship again. These freaking majors just come
Yeah.
so fast now. I mean, you look up a few good weeks of golf, and then you're at a major again. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking for the week to pass by super fast. so we can actually get to the golf. Forget the yapping. Um, Texas has officially, like, I think summer has arrived early here. I think we have our first day of 102 degrees this Wednesday, bro.
Huh?
Um, yeah, it's 102 on Wednesday in Dallas.
You
Heat,
lying?
heat.
It's mid
I'm
90s
not.
all week, boss.
Yeah, and then we have that 1 day spike, and then we're back to it. Maybe it dropped. It dropped a little bit. I'm looking at weather.com, but let me check Dallas. That's my area, which is just slightly outside of Dallas. They're saying 98. We'll see what it eventually ends up being. But it was saying 102 earlier this weekend.
Yeah,
So
we're
yeah,
mid to low 90s like the next week and a half over here. I know the humidity is going to quick creep up and the wind is going to start blowing, but
I trust
I don't know.
I trust Apple, and it's still saying 101 on my Apple weather app. So it's usually actually pretty accurate. But yeah, summer has arrived early. And then 90, yeah, mid 90s, all the way through till next week. So Texas is cooking. NBA, man, I mean, seriously, this has been the best playoffs, I want to say,
Really good stuff.
since the bubble, at least, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's been good. I don't know. Last year was good too. Last year had a lot of good series.
But I mean,
Um,
every series this year is cooking. Hell, even despite being without Steph the other day, Golden State, hung in there. They're not getting blown. They're down
yeah.
3 right now as we speak. The surprise, I thought the Celtics were gonna tie this thing up tonight, and they end up losing to the Knicks. They're down 3-1 now. Are the Celtics done? Can they figure out a way to get 3 in a row?
Do they figure out a way to get three in a row? No, I think one of their players went out hurt. Maybe Porzingis or some. It was the Achilles. I don't know. My hoop group chat is talking about it. I haven't really
Oh
got a
no!
chance to look. It was right
Oh
when we
no!
came on air, and the game was
Not
calming down.
not the Achilles.
I think so. That's what they're saying. I don't know for sure. I mean, I don't want to watch a replay of somebody tearing their Achilles or something. But
It's not. It's the crazy thing about an Achilles rupture. Very personal to me. It's not actually as traumatic as like a broken, ankle or some crazy kind of fracture.
not
But you know it.
Tatum. You lying? Oh God. Oh
Shut
Lord.
the front door.
Yeah,
Oh,
Boston
DJ.
cooked. Boston
No.
cooked.
Oh
Boston
yeah.
cooked.
Okay, check this out. We were chatting about this earlier, Andy. Um, either So Marcus's hoop group chat is saying that the NBA script called for this for the Mavs to get that first pick. I just say they made a deal with the devil because
Andy, after the trade, bro.
there's no way in hell that Nico Harrison deserves to be fortunate enough to have the first pick in the draft, get Cooper Flag. It's just ridiculous.
We Mavs front office got to pick Cooper Flag, and then we fire Nico after it. I don't know, bro.
Immediately, right? I
Immediately
don't know,
after. Okay,
man.
so here's the new graphic that's coming out. So 2011, the Lakers don't get Chris Paul, but the Clippers do. Oklahoma City slash New Orleans Hornets gets AD with the number one pick, 2012. AD goes to LA. New Orleans gets Zion, 2019. So this is the third installment. Luka traded to LA. Mavs get the number one pick. So this is the third installment over 14 years. That is the current graphic. So if you want to drink the Kool-Aid, it is there. It seems like there's proof to it. I,
Let's put our tin hat stuff on because that's
yeah,
crazy. And
Yeah, another one that's come out is all the Utah fans are extremely angry because Dallas keeps getting the milk favorite superstars and they not getting nothing. I'm like, look, y'all had Andre Karolinko for the longest, and then y'all got Lowry Markkinen. So what do you mean? Y'all got stars, bro. Like, relax. You be all right.
what were the odds that the Mavs would have gotten the first pick?
1.6.
That's
1.6%
that's like
chance.
fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah. It is what it is, though, man. I'm not fully back, but I'm excited. I think
And Cooper
Kyrie,
Flag plays D. I like his intensity, bro.
he plays D. He's a two-way guy. He's a two-way guy. We can play him at the 3. We can play him at the 4, but we could probably play him at the 3. But I mean, he gonna be coming off the bench with PJ still here, playing the 3. Clay at the 2. Kai at the 1 when he come back. Kai gonna be there for. I mean, when did it happen? February.
Yeah.
Kyrie, he a freak athlete. Do I think they take the time with him because they spent so much
Um.
money on him? Yeah, but I think he comes back. I think he starts doing contact and practicing probably December. Comes back for January or so, maybe a little
Yeah.
bit ahead of the curve.
If they can just hold on, you know, get our training game together where we can keep people on the floor this year.
Yeah.
That
Well, they got a new medical staff, so the motherfuckers better.
they because Nico's trying to blame everybody else for the
But
problems, and sir,
himself.
you've been the decision maker. So DJ, Nico will always get this work from this
Hey, yeah.
from these two
From this
guys. He
duo,
is he's done.
yeah.
He's always gonna get this work until he's in the private sector doing some other kind of work. But as long as he keeps showing up at Mavericks games,
We gunning
um,
for him.
yeah, I don't care how little defense Luca played. I'm
Luca was
sorry.
played for facts.
I don't care. I don't care.
Straight up.
You don't trade a generational scorer and talent. You just get better coaching. How about that? How about you get a coach that will hold him accountable?
Hold that man accountable, bro. Hold that man
Period.
accountable.
Anything
Him
else
drinking,
random you got?
him, him drinking
I'm
ain't
not.
got
We
shit to
not
do with
even.
it either.
We not even gonna get
I'm
into
so
the beer
angry.
drinking. Yeah,
Yeah, that shit holds no weight, bro.
the Spurs can package picks 2 and 4 for Giannis.
He not
I
coming,
think
bro.
no.
He going to
Giannis wants a
Florida.
big. He wants a big city. Giannis
He's
Giannis
going
wants
to
to be in a big
Miami.
market.
He going to Miami, and he gonna rule shit with Bam and little Davion Mitchell. Um, Houston gonna have to give up too much. Houston is like the prime Houston is saying they're saying Houston is one of the prime kind of like targets for him. They're gonna have to give up too much youth, and I don't think after the season that they had grabbing a 2 seed with youth like that, they're not willing
Yeah,
to
you
budge
don't.
on most of that
You,
stuff.
you you gotta give that another year or two before you kind of blow it up. So
Right.
yeah, I'm sorry for the Spurs. They're just you know what? Just a moment of levity. Seeing Greg Popovich, top quality human being. Um,
Right.
try his press conference after the stroke. It's amazing seeing all his players come back and support him during that announcement. That he's just going, front office or whatever. But it just sucks seeing him not being his full version of himself and needing assistance.
Right.
But yeah, salute to Greg Popovich, long time, just again top quality human being and coach. And it sucks, man. Life is will hit you before you know it. So enjoy your days before, none of us know when anything like that can just pop up on us. So
Very
shout out to
true.
Greg Pop.
Very
Anything
true.
else before we hop off?
Yeah, somebody was speaking in our last pod about taking care of business on the golf course. Buddy got handled again. I'm just chat,
Whatever.
friends, little bro handle business. But I'm
I
not going to harp
I
on it too much because it's my
No,
home
you you
course.
you
I
you
should take
you
care of
you
business.
you legitimately just got him. I started off decently. Uh, I was demoralized by the early birdie out of this man hit a really nice
Yo,
shot
I
out
hit
of
a
a
saucy bunker shot, bro. It was saucy. I ain't gonna lie. It's like
and
a
then hit a
40-yard
down
bunker shot.
and then hit a downhill putt for a birdie on a par five. So um, I was getting hit early. Couldn't figure my game out. Came around on the back nine.
He
Um,
did.
I need to hit the sugar free Red Bull right off the bat.
Right, a little
Um,
sooner. Lock in a little
take
bit
take
sooner.
take the Advil on the ride to the course. Get the back loose. So
A little,
next
little
time
coffee.
next time we see each other, I'm gonna be mentally prepared. I'm gonna treat it like it's a major.
I'll be
I'm
in
gonna
Dallas
treat.
in July. That is the plan.
I'm
The plan is
gonna
July, so hopefully we can lock in there.
I'm gonna treat it like a major. So with that said, Beardy Bros Golf Show. Thanks y'all for joining us. We'll be back at it next week talking PGA Championship. Hopefully it is a great one. Hopefully it's as epic as it was last year. I am Rod.
And I'm Marcus.
Catch y'all next week.